Bienenstich Kuchen, that literally means bee sting cake. And legend has it that the baker that first prepared it was stung by a bee who was hypnotized and mesmerized by the delicious almond honey topping. Well, we don't know if the legend is true, but one thing that we do know is true is that this cake is delicious. And I can't wait to share the recipe with you. So let's go to the kitchen. Bienenstich Kuchen is comprised of a sweet yeast dough. So to make the dough, we're going to combine our warm milk, yeast, 1 whole egg, melted butter, sugar, a pinch of salt, and all-purpose flour. And for the flour, we're going to add it slowly in batches and stir with each addition. And once the dough comes together, it will still be a bit sticky. We're going to dust our counter with a little bit of flour and dust our dough and knead it for 7 to 10 minutes. Once the dough is nice and stretchy and elastic, we're going to roll it up into a ball and get ready to place it into our pre-greased springform pan. So we want to stretch and flatten the dough in an even layer at the bottom of the pan. And then we're going to cover it and let it rise for 1 to 2 hours. To prepare the cream filling, we're going to start by making a pastry cream. So we're going to heat our milk in a saucepan. And meanwhile, we're going to separate our eggs. We'll only use the yolks for this recipe, so you can reserve the whites for another recipe. And to our egg yolks, we're going to add cornstarch, white sugar, and whisk well. And then we're going to add a little vanilla extract, and then we're going to temper our egg yolks by slowly adding in the warmed milk. Then we're going to pour everything back into the pot and heat it until it thickens. Then we'll add a touch of butter and pour it all into a heat-safe bowl covered with plastic wrap and allow it to cool in the fridge. Then we're going to make our whipped cream by adding our heavy cream and whipping it until it forms soft peaks. Then, once our pastry cream is cooled, we're going to stir it just to cream it together and make sure it's nice and smooth, and then we'll fold in our whipped cream. So you just want to fold the mixture until you can no longer see the whipped cream from the pastry cream. Now it's time to prepare the almond topping. For the almond topping, you're going to add white sugar, brown sugar, honey, butter, and heavy cream, and heat it over a medium-low flame. And then you're going to add in your almonds and let the mixture cool. Once the dough has risen, you'll pour the almond mixture evenly on top of the dough, being gentle to spread it to not deflate the dough. Then we'll bake it in the oven until it's nice and golden. Allow the cake to cool for 10 minutes, and then working a knife along the edge, remove the ring of the springform pan. Then using a serrated knife, cut the cake in half. And then for the top half of the cake, we're going to place it on a sheet of parchment, and we're going to go ahead and cut it into our slices. This is a critical step in preparing the cake, considering the fact that the almond and honey topping will grow considerably harder to cut as the cake cools. Okay, so now it is time to assemble everything together. I line my cake tray with some parchment paper and take the bottom half of the cake and place it right on top. Then I'm going to add my delicious cream filling and spread it out evenly. And then I'm going to take the ring of my pan and put it right back around the cake and continue spreading the cream filling. And now it's time to add our top layer that's been pre-cut. So we're going to just take each of the slices and place them right back in position on top of the cake. Now it's time to let our cake cool for a few hours, and when you're ready to serve, remove it from the fridge And then, since the top layer has already been pre-cut, you just cut through to the bottom layer and you have a delicious slice of Bienenstich Kuchen. Guten Appetit!